A legislative package dealing with maternal health care, approved by members of New York City's City Council last month, replaces all references to mothers with birthing persons. Now, the legislation's supporters say it will reduce racial disparities in pregnancy care and outcomes. Greg Gutfeld blasted Team Blue over a poll conducted by WPA Intelligence that found nearly 1 in 4 Democrats believe men can get pregnant. Let's watch.
A new poll finds that 22% of Democrats agreed with the statement, some men can get pregnant. And 36% of white college-educated female Democrats agreed that, yes, a man can get pregnant. I'd love someone to ask them, okay, how many pregnant men do you think there really are? Because I think that would help correct this madness. No one ever asks that question.
So I hate, just utterly hate, I don't know how you feel about it, loathe the phrase birthing persons. It just sounds so impersonal to me. It's not a, being a mother is a beautiful thing. I love my own mother. We all do. It's a beautiful thing worth celebrating. Look, without being disparaging at all to trans people, I accept that yes, trans men, people who started out as women and then transition may still be able to. I might have the physiology to still become pregnant. That is true. It's also, a very, very, very rare occurrence. Like there aren't that many trans people anyway. So we're talking like about a tiny number of people. And I hate when we can't have all definitions, all words, all categories have exceptions. And yes, there is a very, very, very small exception for the category of motherhood where it is technically yes, it's technically true. There are trans men who can get pregnant. Absolutely acceptable. Doesn't mean, basic statements like it's mothers and the overwhelming number of people giving birth are women, and most we can just have these categories without, to my mind, radically having new language to describe these things. There are exceptions to every rule. These exceptions exist. Fine. But we don't have to erase the concept of motherhood for a small number of counterexamples, right?
Here's my question. So 22% of Democrats think that some men can get pregnant and have babies. Why are the Democrats catering to 22% instead of 78%?
Yeah.
What is going? But it's so typical. It's so emblematic.
They hate the 70%.
Exactly.
They only have conversations with that. Again, this is a small. Well, it's a very small, incredibly small sliver of the population we're talking about. I mean, we might be talking about hundreds of people, thousands, given the size of our country, the population. The people who agree with that are also they're a larger minority, but they're still a minority. But that's the elite media, that's the elite activists. The conversations around these things are so. And I want to be clear. I'm not being dismissive of the concept of I believe that trans people exist. I'm a social moderate personally. Absolutely, you can be a woman, you can transition to a man, you can still be capable of pregnancy, and we can use accurate language that describes that. And there should be no. I don't support stigmatizing that or having any. There's nothing wrong with that, but we do not need to abolish gender or motherhood or any of these concepts that are meaningful to people and important to people for people's identity as men and as women. I know women that feel strongly about their womanhood and have had experiences as women that would not necessarily be shared by men or by trans men or by trans women. These categories usually have some meaning. It doesn't mean there aren't exceptions, but they exist, and we shouldn't pretend they don't. That's my rant for the day.
Right. And I mean, no, I think that even beyond the sort of question of morality is the political question, which is that, when Democrats speak to only 22% of their voters, they're opening up, the lane for Republicans, which is exactly what happened. So several Republican members of the council spoke out against the revised language. Councilwoman Joanne Ariola of Queens told the Post, quote, "As a woman who has children, it should be mother. We can't let something so meaningful be canceled."
Yeah, no, exactly. It's meaningful to so many people. And new research conducted across several Western countries shows that having children, not getting older, causes more conservative views, especially in the United States. Study participants with children overall valued traditionalism when it came to social issues more than those without it. The correlation between having children and conservatism is high independent of age, which is a very interesting finding because people have always said, it's getting older. What's the old saying? If you're a conservative under 30, you have no heart. If you're a liberal over that 30, I don't remember exactly. That kind of sentiment. People. You
have no head. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You start. And there's a sense that people start paying taxes. Their views get a little less progressive on economic issues. When you get your first paycheck and find out how much of your hard-earned take-home pay was confiscated by the government. And mailed to Ukraine or wherever. But this study found us actually having kids, which actually makes a lot of sense, especially, I guess, how things are now. And look, our policies are not, many of the government policies having to do with children, raising a family, I think it has gotten harder in some sense over time because while a lot has gotten better just generally in society, technology, et cetera, labor-intensive things have not gotten easier. So like childcare, education, those kinds of things that parents are really going to be reliant on have actually not gotten more affordable. They've not gotten easier. So it's hard to, I don't know. People also put way more. Invest way more resources into the fewer kids that they are having. So it's crazy to think that people used to have on average, I don't know how many, but far more children than families do today. And that you just kind of let the kids run wild, or I guess you have less oversight of that. I like the woman who lived next to me when I was growing up, an older woman who babysat me. I just had me and my brother, and she, when she grew up on a farm in the 1920s, and she was one of 7 or something, and that was the way it was. It's different now, obviously. Neither of us have children, so we're just speculating about parenthood. But I understand how it could make you more conservative in today's day and age.
Absolutely. And tomorrow on Rising, we'll continue to monitor the war in Ukraine, and Brianna Joy Gray will be back with you all, and I will see you next week.
So lovely having you today. As always, Batya. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Catch us on the Plex TV app, if that is applicable to you. And I will see you back here tomorrow with Brianna. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.